Sam, 23 years old, and I'm a professional pole dancer.
What is your take on Lionel? Have you talked to Lionel very much, and what was it like racing him, and just in general, have you interacted with him very much?
I think the first interaction I had with him was actually a while back. It was during the pandemic, well, not in person, but by social media. It was on Instagram, and I won a Zwift race ahead of him, and he came second. And basically, nobody knew me, so they were all accusing me of cheating. And Lionel was the first guy to send me a message and say good race, mate. And yeah, so that was the first. And then also, I think in St. George, before the race, I had an issue with my wheel, so I asked him if I could borrow his wheel, and he didn't answer me. But then out on the run course, when he overtook me, he was like, "Oh, sorry for not getting back to you." So, but beyond that, I just think generally that Lionel's he's a very raw character. You know, he wears his heart on his sleeve, and I think it's great for the sport. I like his transparency. I think in his training, and I think that's what's made him so attractive, I think, to the general public, is that he doesn't really have anything to hide. And at the end of the day, he's just a very, very good professional in all terms, like not just on the race course, on and off. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Lionel.
I would agree with you about his transparency and the way that he has nothing to hide, and he's really just, lets everybody see who he is and how he's feeling. And I think it's a characteristic that's kind of the opposite of some of the other pros who are a little bit tougher, not tougher. I mean, he's tougher, but they're a little bit colder or a little bit more guarded, I think. It's kind of how every age grouper feels, right? Like, we're not superhumans, and he sort of is more relatable.
Yeah, I think it's certainly he's very relatable, and I think there's a few pros that do that well, but mostly it's just we kind of feel like we have to show this kind of superhuman, but actually, I don't know. It's also because we want to sell our journey, and you don't want your journey to just be. You don't want to share the negatives, but actually, there's like we have in our sport we have the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. So I don't know. And I think we see it not just in sport. I mean, even if you look at a famous musician or something, it'll probably look like he's having the dream life from the outside, and then next month you learn that he's committed suicide. So clearly he wasn't sharing all his emotions, and I don't know if people do that to protect themselves or the opposite. And yeah, I guess we're all different in that sense.
I think social media does it a lot, because it makes everybody look as though they're working the best, they're doing incredible in training, and everything's rosy out there, and actually deep behind that it really isn't either sort of it. So I mean, it takes a big support team to support a pro triathlete, and it also takes a big support team to behind an actual amateur as well to actually get them through. It's not easy.
I guess my last question is, Sam, what do you think I would ask what your long-term goals are, short-term and long-term. I mean, I know what your short-term goals are because you have a busy race schedule coming up. That's kind of obvious. And actually, I guess I know what your long-term goals are, but let me hear it from you. I don't.
Well, I'm gonna step it forward. I'd say my short-term goals are to win Kona. Like, not short-term as in this year, but even for me, short-term is something within, I don't know, next 5 years, and then after that, I want to use that platform that I've created for something bigger than the sport itself, I guess. And that would really be. I feel it's quite easy to get caught up in very small periods of time. I think you can. People often overestimate what they can do in a month or a year, and underestimate what they can do in a lifetime. And I really want to make. I want to use my platform, which is triathlon, for me, and just like be able to share whatever. So share my knowledge, be able to help kids to have not the same upbringing, but maybe better conditions, as that's what I had. And just see bigger than triathlon itself. I think yes, triathlon is my craft, but eventually I want to use it for something bigger. Yeah, that's my long-term project.
Excellent. Well, I wish you all the best in the upcoming races. Texas, Hawaii. I'll be watching you.
Sweet. Appreciate it. Thanks, Andrew.